Okay, we're calling to order the meeting of the Lakeville Parks Commission, Monday, April 27th at 6:33 PM. In accordance with the governor's order suspending certain provisions of the open meeting law, general laws, C.30A 20, relating to the 2020 novel coronavirus outbreak emergency of April 27th, 2020 public meeting of the Lakeville Parks Commission shall be physically closed to the public to avoid group congregation. However, to view this meeting in process, please go to facebook.com/LakeCAM. You do not need a Facebook account to view this meeting. This meeting will be recorded and available for view at a later date at www.lakecam.tv. We'll be confirming all the members of the Parks Commission. Please permit me to confirm all the members, staff, and persons anticipated on the agenda are present and can hear me. When I call your name, please respond in the affirmative. Joe Kasha.
Yes.
Jesse Medford.
Affirmative.
Mike Nolan.
Aye.
Nellie Woodburn.
Here.
Thank you. Scott Holmes here. We have no anticipated speakers tonight, so we'll go right into the remote meeting introduction. This open meeting of the Lakeville Parks Commission is being conducted remotely, consistent with the Governor Baker's executive order of March 12, 2020, due to the current state of emergency in the Commonwealth, due to the outbreak of the COVID-19 virus. In order to mitigate the transmission of the COVID-19 virus, we have been advised and directed by the Commonwealth to suspend public gatherings, and as such, the governor's order suspends the requirement of the open meeting law to have all meetings in a publicly accessible physical location. Furthermore, all members of public bodies are allowed and encouraged to participate remotely. In order, which you can find posted with the agenda materials for this meeting, allows public bodies to meet entirely remotely, so long as reasonably public access is afforded so that the public can follow along with the deliberations of the meeting. Ensuring public access does not ensure public participation unless such participation is required by law. This meeting will not feature public comment. For this meeting, the Lakeville Parks Commission is convening by video conference via Zoom as posted on the town's website. Please note that this meeting is being recorded and that some attendees are participating by video conference. Accordingly, please be aware that other folks may be able to see you, and take care not to share screen your computer. Anything that you broadcast may be captured by the recording. As far as the materials, all supporting materials have been provided. Members of this body are available on the town's website unless otherwise noted. The public is encouraged to follow along using the posted agenda unless I note otherwise. Ground rules for the meeting. We are now tuning into the first item on the agenda. Before we do so, permit me to cover some ground rules for effective and clear conduct of our business and to ensure accurate meeting minutes. I will introduce any speaker on the agenda. After they conclude their remarks, the chair will go down the line of members, inviting by each name to provide any comment, questions, or motions. Please hold until your name has been called. Further, please remember to mute your phone or computer when you are not speaking. Please remember to speak clearly in a way that helps generate accurate minutes. For any response, please wait until the chair yields the floor to you and states your name before speaking. If members wish to engage in a colloquy with other members, please do so through the chair, taking care to identify yourself. Finally, each vote taken in this meeting will be conducted by a roll call vote. That being said, let's move on to the agenda. Okay. I take it we don't have any minutes to approve?
No, not right now. I'll have probably like 2 or 3 for the next meeting.
Okay. We're gonna, well, we might as well get right into it. We're gonna review, seeing how everybody present here was at the meeting the other night. Would like to take any comments that you have. If you've had a chance to review this, make notes, and you know how we want to go about this. I mean, we have verbally agreed to somehow work this out, and I'm sure we can. From there, I'm sure we have comments and concerns that we can address and get back to the governing body. Is there anybody that'd like to start? Mr. Nolan? Hold on, you're muted there.
I'm on you. Oh,
There you
sorry
go.
about that.
That's okay.
So I took the list that Maureen had sent to us and made a bunch of notes at our meeting with them last week. And then over the weekend and stuff, a number of things came up that we really haven't even talked about yet. So I don't know, do you want to go through the thing line by line, or how do you want to handle it?
What do you think, guys? Line by line, comment on it and move to the next one?
That's what I would
Pretty much
suggest.
have to.
Joe, Jesse? Okay.
Sorry. Yeah, that's what I suggest. We agreed in principle, so I don't think it'd be too much stuff to comment on. But yeah, let's go over each one then.
Okay.
Right.
Mike, we'll start with the first one.
Okay, the events management companies. I had added all Loon Pond Lodge functions, other use of the parks such as Lakeville Haunted House, triathlon, bike race, motorcycle run, car show, charity fundraisers, etc. We didn't talk about any of those specifics,
Yep.
so I just added that in there.
Yep.
And then I also, what we didn't really talk about too much was Southeast Management. And there was some discussion about the contract with Southeast Management. And my question to the board or Maureen is, who is going to be taking the point on renegotiating this contract with them? Are we going to renegotiate it, or are they? So that's a question of mine for them.
Okay.
And also, I mentioned to you earlier this week, I'm not sure if we're being billed at this time from Southeast Management. There's nobody working there, and I know that their people are laid off. So I don't know. I asked Nikki, and she said that we had to talk to Bill Fuller. But I don't know. I think we're in uncharted water as far as that goes. I don't know if they're going to be billing us like they normally would on a monthly basis, and if they are, there's plenty of work to be done down there. So
I'll ask Nellie if we've received any bills from them recently.
We have not.
No.
No.
So are we? I'm not going to say behind, but I mean, have we not made any payments since?
Our last payment was for the month of February.
Okay. So it's possible that they're not billing us because they're not doing any work. Okay, but we should check.
That's something that we should call and ask about, or just leave it the way it is. I don't mind calling. I don't really know Bill Fuller, but I don't mind calling him up and seeing what their understanding of the situation is.
Do you think we should contact Town Hall first, or just go right to them?
Yeah, that's a good idea.
I just a thought.
Yeah. Yep. I can touch base with Maureen on both of those items tomorrow if you want.
Okay.
And I don't think the contract states anything to this effect.
No,
No one expected this.
I mean,
Right.
it's a contract. It's a contract.
Yeah.
Right. However, if we are going to be paying them, because it's a contract,
They should be doing something.
they should be doing some work. Their stuff is kind of all over the place down there. They really need to clean up before we get back up and running. So
I know Nikki's been in the building. She tries to go every
Yes.
so often to check on everything.
right. Okay.
Okay. Mike, as far as your comments adding to the events management company, if you look at line 2, It says use of parks locations for events. I know it's very general, but I would imagine that would include all those fundraisers and races and triathlon, and I'm sure that's what that's alluding to, but we can always get more specific.
Well, that was my question, whether we want to be more specific or just want to leave it, the way it is.
I really don't think don't think we have to be more specific. I mean, but again, the intent of this is we handle the inside stuff and, events at the park, and they do the outside maintenance stuff. Right?
Yeah. And from the meeting we had the other night, that pretty much nailed it down, that what they're taking off our plate is the concern with maintaining the fields, both at John Pond and at Ted Williams, and possibly a maintenance person or two in Clear Pond a couple days a week. That's obviously got to be worked out, how that's going to work if that's the case. But yeah, that's pretty much the gist I got out of it. We're still going to do pretty much everything else. Is that how you guys received the meeting the other day?
Yeah.
Okay, good. So that would include the third item, taking care of the leagues. That shouldn't change. Our employee Nellie, that shouldn't change. Our employee Bob.
Oh, actually, can you back up 1 second?
Yep, go right ahead.
I had one note that came to me. There, as you know, the leagues, baseball, soccer, they periodically have projects of their own that they want to do.
Yep.
And they run them by us. My question would be, would they still be run it by us, and we'd run it by the highway, or I want to play it by ear as we go along?
I think that they should come to us. I don't think, and I mean, we can talk to Franklin about this, but I don't think he wants to be getting emails from everybody saying, "Hey, we're going to work on the fences. We're going to put up a backstop." I think he'd rather, hear it from us, that one person, our liaison or our board, so that he's not getting all this verbiage from all these groups. I mean, that's my feeling on it.
Right. Well, we should
Anybody
probably
else?
approve it anyway before we even bring it to him.
Yeah. Right. That's the other thing. Right.
Okay.
So
I think we might want to communicate that to all the leagues as well, so they don't run to the supervisor or the foreman down there, so they know they have to come to this board, and they will take it from there.
Right. I think we can check with Franklin, but I think that's what he'd prefer, that they come to us and, one person, whether it's talking to Franklin or the supervisor or whomever is going to be the contact person over there. I think they'd rather get all the information from one person.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, obviously, if Nellie sends an email, to say, hey, we've booked an event outside, I don't think that's going to be a problem. I mean, that's just letting him know to put it on his schedule. So Nellie, you were at the meeting, so that's what he's requesting. So we've got to bring SEM in on that if there's anything booked outside, as soon as it's booked, he would like to know so that they can plan for it.
Yep. Should it just come from them and not from me?
Well, I mean, that's,
Like, have them email him, but CC me, so that way the correspondence is always with us.
yeah, we'll talk to him. I guess we can talk to him and find out what exactly he wants, but that would be as soon as they book something, is to let him know and then CC you. That would work for me. Anybody else?
Well, my understanding was that I think for the time being we're running everything through Franklin, but I believe that his intention is that once they have the supervisor there, that we would be in contact with him.
Okay.
And of course, he would be in contact with Franklin, but for the time being, we have to, it has to be Franklin, I think. Yeah.
No, I mean, and we'll definitely iron that out and make sure that that's exactly what he wants. And whatever works. If it's send an email to Franklin or send it to the supervisor, I mean, it doesn't matter. I mean, whoever it is that he wants to get the information, that's who we'll send it to.
Okay, sorry to hold you up there.
No, that's fine. That's what this is about. Okay, we're just gonna keep on going. Nellie's gonna stay in our control. Bobby Beach, my understanding is our control. We're just gonna have to streamline what he does and give him direction. Is he to report up the line to them, or is he reporting to us?
Bobby Beach?
Yes.
No, I think that was left, that was gonna be, those two part-time positions were still gonna be, working for us because we have, them working for the, mostly, setting up for, functions at the hall and, emptying trash and, cleaning bathrooms and that kind of stuff. That wasn't something that Franklin wants to get the highway department.
Yeah, no. But so that was I just couldn't find it here, but that's still they're still gonna come under our control.
Yep, it's right below, actually right below, Nellie.
Yeah, no, I was looking at the other one. I was looking at the other page because I thought I saw something. Oh, that's the new seasonal maintenance people are talking about. Okay. All right.
So question for you, Scott. Right now, what is Bobby Beach doing right now? What activities is he working on?
Well, he's trash, of course, and then he's actually been mowing quite a bit because we only have one mower down there working, and Ryan has been doing it when he's there, and then Bobby's been doing it, just trying to keep up with it until we get some machines fixed. He also did a lot of work around the lodge because we felt that it was important to keep that looking good, even if we're not open, in case people want to look at it and stuff. So that's been mowed and spruced up quite a bit. So that's kind of the kind of work he's been doing.
I mean, do we have enough to keep him going? I mean, with this is going on, if the highway department picks up that mowing soon, are we going to have nothing for him to do at Ted Williams, or should he look at other parks as well? I don't know.
Oh, I'm sure he can. He went down to Clear Pond Park and cleaned it all up when we were going to have that fundraiser down there, and he has no problem going from one park to another. He's, that's why it's good for us to have some control over someone. We can send him around to whatever park needs something.
So Joe, if you've got any little projects that wouldn't fall under the highway department, if we've got to worry about our own trash, then that's we'll have to bring him into the loop on that.
Yeah, I just didn't know what the skills were. I mean, could they use him over at Clear Pond to get some stuff ready in the whatever needs to be done, or didn't know what his capabilities were. That's all.
Limited.
Are they? I just think it's an item we might want to, keep a track of. Or, maybe have a checklist going on what you might want him to do. If he ever gets time, he can do other things.
Yep, I did give Linda a checklist to post on the inside door there in Mike. I don't know if you saw it. It was just a lot of the things that they have been doing, just so that they can check them off on a monthly basis.
Inside door of the office?
No, in the lodge, the door that goes into the air conditioning unit where they had the small checklist before. Linda had a little checklist in there.
Okay.
I thought it was the one I gave to you to look at also, but I can't remember.
Yeah, well, we can figure that out.
Yeah, no, I mean, it's just a place for them to make sure, that they're doing things, like adding water to the grease trap, not the grease traps, but the floor traps monthly. I'm sure that's not being done because no one's in there, but it's still probably going to start stinking. Just little things,
Yeah.
If it's not there, I can reprint it or I can send it to you and have you look at it.
Oh, okay. That was from last year.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I saw that. Yeah.
Yeah. It was just a simple checklist of things to do around the lodge and, making sure he's emptying the trash and mowing the grass and things to do in the winter, things to do in the spring, the leaves, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Just a place for him to check things off.
And Joe, if we can get another person, we have another person to fill Linda's position, we can, it's only 9 hours a week. So but we can send them around whatever parks need to be done. Because the bathrooms are going to have to be cleaned down there at John Pond once we get them open.
Yes, whatever they may be. Yes.
Okay.
All right. As long as if we know he's available to use, that's all. Like I said, I didn't know what he was capable of. If he didn't have, I know not much is going on at the park, so maybe we could use him at Clear Pond. That seems to need a good amount of work, and maybe even Clear John Pond. Never know. So.
Okay. Obviously, our Clear Pond director / supervisor, seasonal lifeguards, and we've still got to work out the concession / maintenance people over there, and the daily trash in all the parks. I mean, if we have to, we have the little pickup truck, and if they have to fill up a blue barrel and bring it back to the camp and dump it, then that's what we'll have to do. I don't know. I don't remember what was said at the meeting about the trash at John Pond. I know you raised the question, Joe.
Yeah, I didn't really get an answer. I'm hoping, like I said, the highway department continues what they've been doing with that, because we get like 5 barrels there. With blooper ball and all that, sometimes they do fill up. I didn't know who was going to do it. Last thing I want is those things overflowing.
Nope.
It's been great last year. Whoever was doing it, I think it's the highway department. So
Yep.
I'd like to see if maybe they could continue to do that.
And if they don't, then we'll have to add that on to Bobby's thing that he goes down there at least once a week with 3 of the blue barrels and dumps all the trash that's there and brings it up to the camp.
Yeah.
Okay. Anything more on our operations?
Just I wanted to put in there that all the capital projects that are derived from our retained earnings should remain under our purview. We brought that up, and they agreed that yes, we should continue to, but it actually has it under highway. The highway, they're under what they're going to be doing. Yeah.
Correct me if I'm wrong, or if you got something different from the meeting than what I did. But that yes, the capital projects will start with us, and we will make the decision where the money is spent. But that from there, I'm just saying if there was a bid put out, then the highway department would take care of it after that and oversee it. Or
yeah, that's what I heard at the meeting as well.
Okay.
When it comes to building to grounds and stuff, as far as buildings, we would continue to do it ourselves. My point is that it's under, on this list here, it's under.
Yep.
Parks. I mean, it's under highway department. And it says capital projects to support the park improvements would be under them, and it's not under us. So I just want to make that clear that that should still continue to be our
What do
duty.
you have as an example there, Mike? I mean, give me an example of a capital project we want to hang on to.
I'm sorry?
I'm just not clear. When it says all capital projects, give me an example of one you're talking about that we want to hang on to?
Well, the bathroom at John Pond, that was something that was done entirely through our committee. The 2 new fields, we did all of the work on that. The restoration of the Loon Pond Lodge was done through the Park Commission. We had talked a couple times about replacing the tent at Ted Williams Camp with a pavilion. And I'd like, if we do ever do that, if it becomes, a feasible project, I think something like that should be under our duties, not. I don't think he wants to do any of that stuff anyway.
Yeah, I mean, I can see the buildings that we talk about, but like the fields, I'd say that's something that they would handle in the future. That's outside. Just
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Certainly, that'd be ours, I'd say.
Yep.
Okay, well, I mean, we'll add this in and then we'll, respond back, I think is how we take it to be. And we can identify a few things. I mean, I was thinking of some things like, I'm just saying, fix the basketball courts, fix the tennis courts. I think that's something, I mean, I don't think that they want to be doing that or that they can do it. I think that would go out to someone else to do. And, I mean, I would think that would be up to us.
Right. That's exactly the type of thing I was thinking about.
Okay.
What we end up doing with the Lakeville Haunted House building,
Right.
that's going to be a whole
Yep.
huge project. So that was what I was talking about, Joe.
Right. Yeah, buildings wise,
Not-
I agree with you. I just didn't know, like field wise, I figured that's theirs, but yeah, I agree with you.
Yeah, I mean, now that we've got these fields going, I mean, it's going to be their job to maintain them and maintain the parking lots and take care of that. And work with us. Maybe helping us finish them. Maybe there's some things they can do for us that we don't have to go out to bid on.
Yeah.
That would be great.
Right. And there is still a lot of work to be done still over on those fields.
Oh yeah.
I don't want to dump it in their lap without,
No.
I think if we just work together, it'll be fine.
Yeah, like spreading some of that loom around and getting some grass seed on things. Obviously, if it doesn't get done right now, it's going to need to wait until the fall, which is, when sounds like they're going to have time to do those projects.
Yep.
Okay. So we're going over to the new park maintenance reporting through the highway. Comments or questions on these?
The only thing I had, Scott, was trying to sit down with Franklin, possibly even going down to Clear Pond and trying to figure out what he needs, how many people he's going to need to maintain that, the seasonal workers, and how many we're going to need to. I had switched the name over to like a custodial type of a job.
Yep.
Just to differentiate between that and maintenance.
Yep.
I don't know. We'd have to talk to Doug and see what he needs as far as working in the concessions and cleaning and bathrooms and trash and all that. I think we had like 7 people on last year, didn't we? But we did.
Yeah.
We spread them out a little bit.
7 people, of which 1 never worked there,
Right.
and the other 6 worked like 20 hours a week. They weren't full time.
Right. So I don't think the seasonal people that Franklin is talking about bringing on would be full time either, would they?
I don't know, because if he's talking about a full time seasonal person, 40 hours a week, we've been shot down on that as far as a quote seasonal person. I mean, that doesn't mean we can't hire someone for the season, but
well, he's had seasonal people work for him before, right? Like Ryan was a seasonal person.
Right, and they had a few others that have been working along the way. Nellie, do you know if they were considered seasonal or just added onto the rosters? Do you know if they got seasonal status?
I'm not sure, but I know the seasonal status is really difficult.
Especially, I mean, those guys work hand in hand with the rest of the highway department crew.
Exactly. Our seasonal application, when we put maintenance down, they immediately deny. They say that that's a year-round job. So I don't know if they're putting the position down in another way for highway for a seasonal, or if it's not going through as well.
Yeah. I was just curious. But yeah, Mike, that position at CPP is definitely got to be worked out. If we're hiring a couple of part-time people that are going to get bumped around from Ted Williams to John Pond to Clear Pond, they're going to need to be in Clear Pond, probably a couple of days a week. And then, that leaves that leaves 3 days between John Pond and Ted Williams to do projects and do different things. And that's a whole position we've got to work out.
Right.
That, changing the wording of that and what those positions are going to do, that's yet to be decided. But that's a good starting point, is to see what the director would need just for someone to, let's say, work in the snack stand and take care of the bathrooms and, small stuff around there. But as far as the maintenance, I believe they're talking about, cutting the grass and cutting the parking lot and maybe coming in and weed whacking and things like that, that's going to be part of these floating, we'll call them floating part-time personnel to be used at all the parks.
Good.
Okay.
The only other thing I had notes on regarding this end of it was where it says grounds, equipment, and repair will be all a subset of the highway department in budget and where appropriate charge to parks under indirect charges. And I just wrote it, only as it pertains to the grounds, roads, and lots. Parks will have equal input in planning and funding. All other capital projects continue to be overseen by the parks. So that was just kind of reiteration of what we talked about already. And then also we talked about the fact that they're going to take over the maintenance of all the machines over there and use for their people as well. But we still need the availability for some of those machines to be used by our people on the weekends and to do their jobs.
Correct. And we're going to need the golf carts.
Yeah.
And the what's the
Bunker
dragger?
rakes.
Bunker rakes. Thank you. I couldn't think of the word.
Yeah.
Bunker rakes. Not that
Yeah.
they're going to be used
hand
anyhow.
lawnmowers.
Huh? They're not
Hand
going to be
lawnmowers, so we can do the around the around the lodge.
and other hand tools, blowers,
Yeah.
whackers.
Yeah, trimmers. Yep. So I don't know if we need to, specifically spell out all that. The only machine that really comes into question is the Kubota, whereas you really you need a specific license to drive that thing. Franklin's going to be in charge of that stuff. I'm sure he's going to make sure that whoever is driving that has the proper hoisting license and that kind of stuff. But any other machine, our guys can drive. The Z-Trax and the even the Massey Ferguson with the Batwing, if we get that going again.
Yeah, but we're not.
I don't think we're going to be using that at all.
No, I guess that's the point. Is they're not going to be. Maybe like the small hand, push mower and the rakes and the blowers, but for the bigger equipment, that's all highway going to control that, as far as I know.
Yeah, except that if you have something comes up on a weekend and you have to run out and hit a field, say it rains all week, and then you have a baseball tournament on the weekend, it would be. We have 2 Z-Tracks over there. It would be good that we're able to use those to mow the grass. If we have to, it would be on an emergency basis only.
Yeah, I think we definitely got to talk to them on that one there. But we can have the discussion with them. I mean, we're going to need some access to that that whatever that is, the building over there, right, where the equipment's stored. Now we got to figure out how we want us to have access to it. So not everybody just goes in there other than the highway department, but we're going to have some access to it, correct?
Yeah,
Yes.
I mean, that's where this equipment is going to be. I mean, there's our locks on it right now.
I think we have to have the discussion with them. That's all.
Yeah, but I mean, they can't just take everything, and they've got to leave. They've got to leave these things here. I mean, because Bobby works odd hours, and this new person we need to hire, we need to have them for at least Friday, Saturday, or Saturday, Sunday mornings would be better. We just got to find someone to fill that bill. Anything else going down this list that needs comments or concerns?
This question I have, I said, yeah, we're gonna backfill for Bobby and Linda. Well, we have Bobby gonna backfill for Linda. It was talked about 2 additional seasonal workers here. Is that just refresh my memory? What was that on this list here?
That's what I was talking about before. I think that's why they didn't put out the maintenance position for Clear Pond, because they want to modify that. They
Okay.
want us just to control the concessions and the janitorial stuff.
Yep.
That they are gonna hire, but we're gonna pay for a couple of seasonal workers. This is what we were talking about before, that are gonna work at all the parks.
All right. Oh, well said.
That's what you're talking about. Number 3, the third one down.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
That
Okay.
they're gonna oversee them and take care of them. But that they're gonna work at Ted Williams, John Pond, Clear Pond, as needed. When Clear Pond's running, obviously that's a concern, but that doesn't mean they can't spend 2 guys can't spend a whole day down at John Pond doing things. And maybe a couple of days at Ted Williams. Or vice versa, whatever needs to get done.
No problem.
That's how I understand that. How about you, Mike or Jesse?
No, I'm good with it.
I'm good too.
Okay. Anything else down here that we need to note or? Yeah, if you look at the very last thing, Mike, it says special equipment needed by the parks to operate will be agreed upon and readily accessible. So it's just a matter of working out the semantics, and if we get these hand tools and we keep them in the inside the locked quarters so they don't walk away, inside the building.
Yeah, I was commenting on, I think, an earlier version of this email,
Okay, no,
and
that's
that
fine.
wasn't there before.
Yep. Nope. That's
So-
yeah. I think she added some things based on some of your comments and some of mine.
Yeah.
Which is good, and Leah's, so that's good. Okay. We'll refine this and then we'll have Nellie get something back to him after we take a look at it the next meeting, just so that we're all on the same page.
But just we're not going to move forward. Nothing's being held up, right? We are moving forward with this system,
No.
correct?
As far as I understood, we all agreed to that. It was just working out the semantics here.
All right, no problem.
Okay, if so, we'll move on to the next item. SEM Loon Pond Lodge. Any updates, Mike?
No, other than we have to find out, like what I mentioned before about
Yep.
who's going to deal with them.
Yep, money and contract.
Yep.
Yep. Okay. Moving on. Any of the Ted Williams camp updates?
No, they're doing Ryan's doing a great job. They're keeping up with the grass with one mower right now, which is pretty amazing. Although it doesn't have to be mowed as often as it will.
No, right.
I would like to ask that we purchase a blower, a leaf blower, like a backpack leaf blower. They have 3 of them down at the highway department, and they would like. Bobby had asked me about this a while ago, and I talked to Franklin about it, and he said, "Yeah, we probably should have one down there because there's a lot of leaf blowing going on, and all they have is that walk behind one."
Yep.
So it's between $400 and $500. I think Franklin, if he'll just get one for us if we ask. It's a steel, I believe, STIHL.
Yep.
That's what they use. I would say if we can go ahead and get another one of those.
Okay. We can just go down to Norfolk Power and get one. Or do we want to go through?
Well, I think he would prefer.
Okay.
Maybe not. I don't know.
Well, we'll just
I
ask.
think he gets a better deal or something.
Okay. Well,
It's not Norfolk Power. They buy them through John Deere.
Well, Norfolk Power is all off the bid list, so.
So is a John Deere.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah,
Well, that it doesn't matter to me. I mean,
yeah.
I guess we can
Well,
reach out and ask him what he wants to do.
Okay, I guess I'm asking if we could go ahead and make a motion to allocate, you say $500 to buy one of those?
Is that a motion?
Yes, please.
I just have a question about that. Is that something that they can't do that blowing right now with the 3 that they have, the highway guys? We need to do that ourselves, you're saying?
Well, one of the major jobs that Bobby does especially in the fall is blow leaves and rake leaves. No, they're not using theirs down there at all.
I was just wondering if we can put that on that list for them to do, and let us know if it's going to be an issue. Have them do the leaf blowing in the fall, or if we even need it now, clear for weddings or whatever. I mean, do we really need to be doing that ourselves?
Well, we're handling most of the stuff around the lodge. So
Right, but
you know what? That's fine. We don't need it.
My point is that something that we can ask those guys to pick up? Maybe we haven't asked them yet. Have them take care of stuff outside of on the lodge. Just a thought. That's all.
What do you?
Well, instead of us having to clean up around the lodge, blowing leaves and stuff, let the highway guys do it. Would they have a problem with it?
I don't know. I thought Scott. I thought we talked about that, and we were kind of. Maybe I misunderstood.
No, that was the impression I got, that the lodge and grounds for the lodge were going to be our purview.
Just doesn't make any sense.
We don't have to buy. We don't need it right now, so we can wait and talk to Franklin and see what he thinks, whether we should purchase another one or not.
Yeah, I just wondered if we're going to build a lawn on the lodge, let them do it. It is the outside. Like we agreed, they take care of the outside stuff. We just ask them to mow on a Friday, whatever we might need, to blow leaves, whatever it is. But
all right, I withdraw my motion.
Because that's been Bobby's job. Is to maintain around the lodge.
Right, but if they can do it, we gave him do other things. Just a thought. I mean, up for discussion. That's all.
Okay, we can put it off. It's not a big deal.
Maybe you could just talk to Franklin and see what he thinks, whether he wants us to go, if we go ahead and buy one, or does he want to purchase it?
Okay. Well, Franklin had said to me already that his guys don't use push mowers at all.
No, I know that.
We're going to have a discussion about that anyway, because you have to use push mowers at Clear Pond for some of the stuff. You can't drive a Z-Track in there. That's going to have to be a conversation anyway.
Yeah.
Nothing that has to be decided tonight.
Okay. All right. Well, sports season updates. Justin's not here. Nellie, have we heard any comments from anybody
No,
other than?
they're just waiting.
Okay.
Softball is canceled. Joe, did you hear that?
Yeah,
Yeah.
They're not going to have the spring season. I just wanted to know if we were going to be May 4th, or now it looks like May 18th from the mayor. I don't know about the governor said it. So I guess we're in a holding pattern, I guess, because I'm waiting to get a hold of Blooper Ball and see what they want to do.
Yep. Clear Pond Park. Any updates there?
No, nothing news happened.
Nellie, do you know if those jobs got posted?
I don't believe they've been posted as of yet, and it may just be that she's waiting for that maintenance position to get hammered out.
Okay.
But I can double check with her tomorrow and see where we're at on the other two at least.
Yep.
Does that go for the?
Post the director position yet, so he can formally apply for that?
If the director's position hasn't changed, which I don't believe we've changed anything, we should definitely post that one and hire the director, on a maybe basis, I guess.
Yeah, she was wondering about the verbiage about that too. They were trying to figure out the semantics of the position in a sort of unreliable kind of market right now of how to state that the job is available as long as Clear Pond opens.
That sounds good to me.
But I'll touch base with her and see if we can go ahead and post at least the director position right off the bat. That way Doug can get his application in because I know he'll want to.
Right. And I mean, if that's what they've got to add, some type of verbiage for that, I don't think anybody's got a problem with that.
Yeah.
It's all on a wait and see basis anyhow.
Okay, I'll touch base with her tomorrow.
But yeah, just to emphasize to them that, that's usually the first thing we do is hire the director, and then we go from there because the director is involved in hiring the rest of the staff.
Yep. Okay.
Okay. John Pond?
Just a question for you, Mike. Did they were they able to do fertilizer at all over there?
No. Like I told you when we talked about it, he's got to go over there and measure it out, and he says he's not gonna. He can't go over there until everything opens back up again. They're not going out and doing field work right now. I mean, they're doing the fertilizer, but he hasn't gone out and measured it or anything.
I need something. Is something we can just measure it for him and just tell him what it is?
Sure.
Instead of waiting for him because we missed the fertilizer season.
Yeah, go ahead.
All right.
Yeah, measure it up, and we can send it to him. I can actually, Joe, send you his contact information.
All right, if you would, yeah.
Certainly.
All right. Other than that, let's get into holding pattern. I have not untarped the bathroom unit yet. I'll probably do that when it stops raining just to see if everything's okay. Won't open it yet. See what happens.
Question for you on that. You/Mike, whoever can answer it. What needs to be done to finalize that bathroom as far as electrical and water?
Right now, it's usable the way it is with the water line, the hose, and the electrical.
I know it's usable, but it's not ideal.
Yeah, when Nate was down there a couple of months ago with me, he really didn't want to put a water line in because for whatever reason. I mean, there's going to be some construction going on possibly anyway by the Free Lake teams, by the batting cages, so they have to make sure we don't hit the line. So he suggested we still go with the hose. The power was right there. Kevin Thu was going to take a look at maybe something he could do to box it in and put a break on the outside so we don't have to keep on plugging it in and unplugging it. But because of the COVID, Kevin can't get down there yet.
Okay.
So I'm still waiting to see. I'll send Nate a message this week and see if maybe Kevin can take a look at it, see what we can do to get ready for it. But right now, nothing's happening.
Okay. We're definitely going to need some more hose because that was awful tight.
Yeah, I'll get a little longer one we have, and I'll hook that up and see how it looks.
Another 50-foot shot would at least give us enough room to run it along the building and then down along the bottom.
Yeah, and I might even try trenching it a little bit so it's not right on the grass. We can sink it a little bit.
Yeah. We'll work something out for now, and I mean, if that's the minor what we got to do to get things going. But I was just thinking about that as you were talking. We definitely, as we all talked about with the electric, we want to be able to box that in so we're not plugging and unplugging that. And like you said, if we can put a circuit breaker box on there with a lock on it and they can turn it on and off from the outside, that works for me.
Yeah. We want to do the same thing with the field lights too. Take that out of the snack shack for a break outside. Yep,
we do. You're right. We got to get a cost on that.
Yeah.
That's not going to be cheap.
Yeah. I did get an email from Sarah St. Dawn. They'd like to have some field time for practices for the drifters, like they did last time on field 3. So, but once again, we're waiting and seeing. That field 3 is going to be pretty soaked right now. So, we'll see what happens with them.
Yeah, it's going to be a bog down there right now.
Yeah, and I'll be speaking to the Free Lake softball folks this week. We're gonna meet one of the guys down there. That big old building, we got to get the stuff out of there. Nate didn't want anybody in there or anything, so we're gonna have to have them clear that out of there. And then they're gonna put the stuff somewhere. I'd love to have the bunker rake down there permanently, but not in the basement there. If there was a nice wooden shed they could build in there, throw it in there, it'd be slick. So
Right. A wooden shed would be much more preferable.
Yeah.
As we found out, that thing just started to rust on us last year, and
Yeah. And that'd be
it's nice to keep it down there.
Yeah, that'd be a nice project for somebody if they could build a shed wide enough to get that thing in and keep some of the field maintenance stuff in there, you know? It'd be nice. But I'll talk to Free Lake on that one too.
Okay. All right, good. Route 18 fields.
The only thing we have going there is I have 20 bags of fertilizer sitting there. They weren't able to do it. It was too wet. They have a big machine that's bigger than our Kubota. And we both went over there and just decided it was too wet. We wouldn't put big ruts in it.
Yeah, we don't want to do that. I'm sorry, we don't want to do that.
No, we don't want to do that. So that's sitting there, and either Bobby or Ryan, I have to talk to Franklin and see when he wants to do it. He said something about holding off for a couple of weeks. I'm not sure what, he knows more about grass than I do, so. It's just starter fertilizer. It's slow release starter fertilizer.
Okay, it's not like a crabgrass or anything like that. It's just a fertilizer.
No, nothing like that yet.
Okay.
We'll do that later on.
Yeah, I was going to say if we waited too long on that, we'd miss the boat on that. But okay, good. Any other old business to review? Nellie, you got anything hanging out there that we may have missed?
I don't think so.
Joe?
Old business? No, I guess some new business, but not old business.
Okay. Jesse?
No.
No. Mike, we're good?
Good.
Okay. Any correspondence, Nellie?
No, none at this time.
Good. Okay, we'll start with any new business. Joe?
Just a couple of things. Once again, when all that time with this virus and all that stuff, so I'm just looking around. I was at the Park Commission page today, web page. Is there any way we can, add some things, get that spiced up a little bit? I know, like on sports, maybe in the sports section, we might want to add something about the fields being closed or whatever. Minutes, we don't have any minutes posted for 2020, so I just, we might want to get it up to speed there. And maybe even add a section on there what the parks have to offer, just to talk about the parks. Somebody new might want to take a look at, hey, what's down at Ted Williams? I don't know. I'm new to town type of thing. Maybe we can add that on there. Don't know. But just
Joe?
something.
Joe?
Yeah.
You have a lot of time on your hands right now?
Well, everybody's got all the time there is. How you choose to do something, whatever you choose to do with this, up to you. But we all have 24 hours in a day.
Joe, I'm only kidding. You're doing a great job.
Yeah. A second thing, I know, Scott, you and I talked the other day, I think Nellie and I, the nature course at Ted Williams. I would like to see if I wouldn't mind taking a look at that. I was going to go down and take a look at the stations when the rain stops, just to see what shape they're in and maybe make a list of what we think we can do. Maybe talk to Franklin and his team. Hey, maybe, we think we need a few things, see if they can help us out. Maybe go with some volunteers down there to get the thing back running again. Clean it up a little bit. I don't think some stations might need more work than others, but I was just going to go walk the courses myself and see where everything is and just take a checklist of what needs to be done.
Yeah, like I told you, there's seven stations. One of them's kind of in the middle of nowhere that I think we could move and put it someplace else, like maybe as a finishing one over near backside of the basketball court there, right at the end of the trail. Two of them, we need to get the signs put back in the ground. One of them, the sign is right there on a cement ball. The other one is down by the waterfront, and somebody decided I think they were going to throw it in the water, and they dragged it over onto one of the other little trails there closer to the water. That's got to get brought back, and a hole's got to get dug and just so we can plop it back in the ground. And then going over the plexiglass signs, and just a little bit of clearing around each one, would make a huge difference. Maybe we get a big load of mulch, and
maybe we could ask for like some volunteers even from the town want to help us out.
Yep. people hanging out,
Yeah.
nothing to do.
But I'll take a look at that, then I'll let you guys know by next meeting what it is, what I think, and see if we can get some support for that. I think it'd be a nice little thing to get going again.
Yep, Joe, there's a lot of people that use that trail and walk that trail. I think you're right. I think we probably could get some volunteers to come down. We get a nice weekend once these things are lifted. I think that's a great little project we can do, and not be a real expensive one.
Just
Yes.
to let you know, Franklin has already discussed that. That's kind of a project that Rich LaCAM was talking about. I think Franklin is thinking that that's going to be a fall project when they have more time to do things like that. But there's a lot of trees that need to be cleared from that too.
A lot of pruning and trimming back of stuff. If they went down there with the flail mower and they could really push some of the stuff back, but there's a lot of big trees that need to be cut up and moved.
Yeah.
When you look at it, there really could be a lot, or are you just looking to spruce up the park course itself? The trails themselves definitely could use some TLC. There's no doubt about it.
There's quite a bit of stuff still there from the Lakeville haunted house along the trail as well that needs to be cleared away. Again, COVID-19 is holding everything up, but we're about 70% done with that cleanup, but quite a bit needs to be done. There's one of the stations is pulled out completely and like put over to the side. Did you see that one, Scott?
Where?
It's out by the new fields.
Yeah.
Somebody had dug it up at some point.
Yeah.
It's just the pole. Just the pole with the directions on it.
I'll take a look at that, guys. I'll try to find all 7 stations, see what we got. But I said I think the idea of having some volunteers from the town might be a good way to go.
Yeah, there's no reason to wait if you can get some volunteers.
Yeah.
That way people can enjoy it all summer.
Yep.
Scott, do you remember if there's any paperwork behind those stations? Like, do we have anything for each one of those?
There's a sign on each one, Nellie. It's a separate pole. And
Yeah.
there's a sign that gives you directions on each one. And what's happened is the kids have spray painted over the plexiglass.
But there isn't something we've had on file or something like to keep.
There may have been when it was instituted. I think the big sign down by the water had some information on it. The one that's kind of laying on its side because the wind blew it over.
Yep.
I thought there was some information on that about it because it was originally called correct me if I'm wrong, Mike, because I think you may have been here when it was on or maybe not, but it was the John DiCarlo Fitness Trail in memory of John DiCarlo.
That was already installed by the time I got on the commission the first time. And it was already kind of in disarray.
Yeah, well, it was one of those things that was installed and then it never got updated.
That wasn't a Boy Scout project, right? That was
no.
Family, get it?
I'll double check with Dan, but I think it was money was raised and they went out and bought the stuff and then put the trail in, or there was money that was donated in his name for this, I believe. So
You said there's a sign there, right, somewhere?
I believe there's some information that's on that billboard that's laying on the ground that we haven't got stood up yet. That's another project.
All right, I'll take a look and see if I can find it.
Any other new business?
The only thing I was going to say is I know we mentioned that last at the Board of Selectmen meeting. I know they were asking, I know Rich was asking for it too, if we put a list together for each park, what we, to-do list, what we'd like to have the highway department do. I know they were asking for that. They didn't receive that yet from everybody. So maybe if we want to give all that to Mike to funnel out to Franklin or whatever for each park, I think that'd be a nice place to start.
Okay. Well, between now and the next meeting, if we can come up with some lists of some items, a little wish list for each park. And then we can go from there. Nellie, could you do me a favor and look at the website to see if we can do anything to update that or spruce it up at all? I don't know who has control of the website.
I do.
You do. Okay.
Here we go.
All right. Thank you. In all your free time.
In all my free time right now.
Yeah, you probably got more going on now than you did when they were going to school.
I never expect to be a homeschooling mom.
So if you could just take a look at that, if you could take a look at that and see if there's anything you could do to update that or spruce it up.
Yes.
Any other new business? Any items from the clerk?
No, nothing additional. We had the tiniest bit of confusion over how to pay Ryan, the new guy at the park. But
Yeah.
it looks like we're going to pay him exactly the way we did Mike.
Is it going to be a separate line item, or is it going to be part of our payroll budget?
I think it's still, so with Mike, it was still part of our payroll budget, but they took the bulk amount.
Right, but it was a separate line item.
It was, yes. So I think it'll be the same.
So, well, my question is he giving his time to you,
No.
or is he giving it to the
He's
highway?
giving it to highway. So that was the question with this payroll that just came up, was which way are we working it? At first I was going to get it, but then Clorinda spoke to Franklin, and Franklin wants it sort of the same way he had it with Mike.
Fine, less for us to do.
Exactly. So he can verify the hours and make sure he was working whatever, and then he signs off on it. So they'll take care of it. So I'm assuming it's just going to run the same way it did with Mike. So we'll just have to have a line item for him.
Okay. All right. So that's something too. We've got to rework the budget a little bit. Probably make some changes to the anticipated income from Clear Pond. I know we're going to have shortfalls in income at the camp. We've pretty much already lost all the spring sports. And Nellie, if you could, for me, I know you can't give an exact amount, but I'm just trying to get some ballpark amounts of what income we're going to lose in, what we've lost in March, what we're going to lose in the month of April, May, and June. Because it looks like this, or at least through May.
For the leagues?
For the commissary, for the
For the lodge.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was already talking with Nikki, and she'd already given me some amounts.
Okay.
But a lot of it is being postponed, which is good.
Which is okay, but what I'm trying to get at is this fiscal year, we
Yeah.
are going to have a shortfall.
Yeah.
And we may have to dip into our retained earnings.
Yeah.
So keep that in mind as we're doing spending between now and June. We're going to have a serious shortfall in pretty much no income March, April, May. And April and May are two of the biggest months for the lodge.
Yep.
And March and April are the two biggest months for spring sports. So we are going to take a considerable hit between now and the end of this fiscal year, which is June 30th. So if there is anything we can put off until next fiscal year, if we can do it, we'll do it January 1. If it's something we have to buy or something we have to do. If we have to spend money, we have to spend money. I'm not saying we can't, but I'm just, keep that in mind, that if it's something we can put off till July 1st, probably would be a good idea if we can. But yeah, the income portion, just I'd like to be able to let them know what we are going to looking at for a shortfall. I already told them we're going to be, we're looking at $30,000 on the league fees. So, I don't know what April, May, and are going to be at the lodge.
Right.
And I know you can't look at it and get a dollar amount, but maybe Nikki can help you with an anticipated dollar amount based on the numbers. A ballpark. I know it's, you don't know until we get it.
Right, exactly. I have the confirmed amounts that they've had to give back due to cancellation. So I already have those. So we can just try to figure out what's already been in the calendar and what was expected.
Yeah, I mean, it's what was in the what was booked or what was in the calendar, and obviously, March, April, and May are going to be washed.
Right.
And while we're looking at it, maybe we can just look at June and hold that number for now. But I don't know if people are canceling their June parties or not, or they
I'm not sure.
Okay. Do we have any other business for the good of the commission?
I just got a question for you on I know the date for the sports was May 4th. Don't know if that's going to happen. Doesn't look that way, but how are we going to decide? How are we going to communicate to people if the May 4th date changes, since we have a meeting after that instead of before that? I mean, this is it. So, you know what I'm saying?
Good point. I think that we should, if the date is changed, and this is my thought, and I'll be absolutely open for comment, that if we get a hard and fast change in the date, that we just have Nellie send out an email to everyone explaining that. The same email we sent before, just change the dates. Is everybody okay with that?
I agree.
I mean, and good point, Joe, because we won't have a meeting until after that. So that way we don't have to scramble and say, hey, we can just automatically, if the date changes, we give Nellie the okay to send out the same email, just change the dates. Sound good?
Yep.
Okay. Anything else? No? Before we convene next meeting? May 11th?
11th?
When's the holiday's the end of the month? May 11th at 6:30? Is that okay with everybody?
Sounds good to me.
Sounds good.
Okay, can I have a motion to adjourn?
Make a motion.
Make a
we adjourn the
motion
meeting.
to, go ahead, Joe.
Make a motion. We adjourn the meeting.
Second.
It will be all those in favor?
Aye.
Meeting adjourned at 7:39 and 58 seconds. Thank you, everyone, and if we don't see you before then, see you on the 11th.